What's up? Welcome to the market recap. Today is August 25th, 2025. Interesting session. A few different opportunities. I had this trade on pound dollar for a small profit. And so let's get into it. So, I went over this trade in the watch list yesterday. It was the preferred pair I had of all these dollars from a price action perspective. Was one of the first, really the only two I think that pulled back dollar pair wise for entries was pound dollar and Aussie dollar potentially. The rest of them, like Kiwi dollar, didn't quite pull back if you're looking at this 1 hour, right? Dollar CAD didn't really pull back. Euro dollar didn't really pull back at the time of entry. Aussie dollar did. And then dollar Singapore somewhat had a pullback as well. So, but given this was my preferred pair, this is the main trade I was looking for in the day. It pulled back, not quite to 0.382, but it did tap the pivot. So pretty much the first kind of line of support. And given the fact that this had a pretty strong bullish push, I anticipated price probably wasn't going to pull back to the EMAs. It's likely just going to tap the pivot in that first level of support and then start reversing. So I looked for an entry on a 30-second time frame that was relatively aggressive to get into the trade. I was positioned with like a 40 pip stop with an 80 pip target, so a 2-to-1. 1-to-1 to the highs roughly, and then 2-to-1 a little bit higher, but not much in the way of my target. At the time of entry, if we go to the 30-second time frame here, I have this trend line drawn in. Granted, there was this initial break right here, which it hadn't pulled back enough for me to take the trade at this point. But by the time it's gotten close to this pivot, it triggered my alert finally. 0.32 is just a little bit below the pivot. So it's close, and I'm still with an entry here. Even if I'm early, my stop placement is still below both the EMAs, still below this previous high over here, which should act as support, and still below some fib levels. So I still have other support levels to protect me. So I felt fine from a position size standpoint. And there was that 30-second entry that I took right here on the break of that trend line in the EMA. But if we switch over to a 1 hour time frame, you can see this a little bit better. I might have to go back in time though. If we go back in time to here, you can see it a little bit better. At the time of entry, like here's your 30-second breaking. But like your 5-second has already kind of broken trend, right? Like downward, 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 higher high. So 5-second, same thing with a 15-second had broken high. So the like 15-second, 5-second were already giving me indicators that price is starting to reverse. So hence why I took an aggressive entry on a 30-second time frame. But I like my entry, pretty kind of standard management. Price broke 10-minute EMA. That's my first stage of management, is go P1. So I clipped the bottom here, removing most of the risk from the position. And then price came back, retested the 10-minute and follow through, creating a new lower high. So then I clipped that lower high as P2, locking in a little bit of profit. And then price pushed nearly to my 1-to-1. But I can't really do much at this point from a management perspective. I need price to push past 1R. Never really did so, and price just reversed and eventually clipped me out for 0.28R on this trade. So still profit's profit, but if I would have taken Aussie dollar, however, this trade had a very similar entry on a 30-second time frame. If you were to position something like that, right? The problem is right at the time of entry, the 1 hour 50 isn't really protected. isn't support at this moment. I mean, granted, later on in the day it kind of came up and now it's support, but at the time it was not. And as well as the other things we discussed, like it had stuff in the way of the target. But this trade would have played out for probably 1R. I mean, it pushed to that 1R level right here and passed it. So you could have gone aggressive at that point, locked your 1-to-1, or been out on the break of the EMA. So I think the only dollar pair potentially you could have captured 1R is this Aussie dollar, maybe dollar Singapore, more so Aussie dollar. And then Kiwi dollar also had potential, but it didn't pull back enough for an entry. So, and then the other trade I saw at the same time I was taking pound dollar was this Kiwi CAD. Also had an entry. You could have taken this 30-second break right here, and also kind of like a 2-minute break. And then this trade would have played out for at least 1R on this initial push. So on this initial push, management-wise, there's not a whole lot to do. You're already well past 1R. 1R is down here, right? So when price starts to break down on this 30-second, probably this EMA break, or even you could probably draw in a trend line up there. When it started to break there, you could capture anywhere from 1.2 to 1.4. So, but cool. Yeah, there were some options last night. I almost contemplated taking this Kiwi CAD at the same time as taking pound dollar. But in my mind, this Kiwi CAD is still kind of correlated to the dollar pairs. I mean, CAD dollar kind of move together, like euro pound kind of move together when they have larger movements. So I saw it as essentially the same play I was already taking with pound dollar. And since I was already in pound dollar, I wasn't too interested in taking Kiwi CAD. But either way, that was my night. So cool. I'm going to go build my watch list for the next session, and I'll catch you guys here in a minute. And we're back. So nice and kind of simple watch list for this upcoming session. There's a clear favorite, which is this Euro CAD. But I have a Euro group, I have this Aussie group, and I have a random CAD PLN, right? So to start off with this Aussie group, an Aussie CAD here, it's a potential wave 3 CBO. So wave 1 breakdown, looking for a pullback to the pivot, 0.32 area. You have this horizontal support, resistance here, support, resistance, resistance over here. So a decent kind of level. Coming back for a retest, you have the EMAs in that area. CBO on your 1 hour. It's an IBO on your 4 hour. It will inevitably be an ACB on the 10-minute. So all three time frames align. Daily time frame, you have a great bearish candle. So I don't really have any qualms with it. I'm good with most of it. So if I had any qualms, it might be this kind of 10-minute price action here of this kind of trending downwards is the only thing. But I think you could ignore it. I think everything else is there to take a trade. You have a clear lower low on your 1 hour and your 4 hour. So I like it. Hopefully it pulls back. Second kind of primary is this Euro Yen. It's a very similar concept, right? CBO on your 1 hour, IBO on the 4 hour, it'll be an ACB on the 10-minute. Daily wise, it's all right? It's at this overall kind of pretty large daily run and it has some deceleration here. Candlestick wise, kind of meh. You could argue this is maybe also kind of in a range. Either way, a nice kind of wave 1 break right here. Clear lower low on your 1 hour and your 4 hour, coming back for a retest and playing wave 3. On your 10-minute time frame looks better than EuroCAD, right? You have a clear just kind of breakdown of price here. So a pullback fits within the wave theory on the 10-minute. Now, if you go back to the EuroCAD here, it looks a little bit different, right? It's the only thing that kind of sketches me out about this trade, but I'm willing to trade through it. Either way, either one of these will work. They look good. There's a potential for maybe even a play off the 4-hour 200 and S1, but you have room to move on your daily on both to the daily 50. So yeah, they look good. I think they're nice setups. Euro pound is a secondary setup for me, very similar to the other two trades. I just think the price action's nicer on Euro Yen and Euro CAD. I also don't like how the daily is sitting at the daily 50 on this pair, but again, similar. The 4-hour isn't an IBO. It's just, price did break down, clear, lower low. Like the price action's the same, but the EMAs necessarily don't align like Euro Yen, Euro CAD, but still a potential setup. Euro Singapore, this is a secondary, kind of just watching how this plays out. Don't know if I can trade this or not. I think I can from a spread perspective. But again, similar to Euro Pound, it's sitting at the daily 50. So not quite room to move on the daily. 4-hour, 1 hours look okay with a pullback and a continuation. Euro Aussie, again, similar-ish, but this has kind of been running for a little while now. It hasn't really had a decent pullback. So I think there's the potential for this to bounce off of this 4-hour 50 daily, 4-hour 200 daily 50, and maybe even continue further. It also kind of would need a deeper pullback. I think it's an option, but it needs some development. So just have it flagged to kind of watch it, but likely probably won't trade this pair. The other group I have is this Aussie group. Now, from a normal strategy perspective of like a CBO or an IBO, so trading wave 3, wave 5 doesn't really fit on this, but it is like a nice breakdown on the 4-hour and the 1 hour, and this kind of pretty good pullback at this point. This pretty good 4-hour run, 1 hour kind of trend a little bit. And then coming up to R1, 4-hour 200, daily 50, you have this horizontal support level in here. That's operated as support and resistance in the past. And not the best level in the world, but it works. It is a level. So I have this flagged as a potential WTF play, like a bounce off of this level bearish. So see how it develops. Pound Aussie, similar thing, right? You have this nice run on a 4-hour, your 1 hour, 4 hours getting overextended. If it continues and it pushes to S1, you have a horizontal support level in here, right? If you go to your 4-hour, it's, respected here, somewhat kind of a zone here, somewhat of a zone here. And then it's respected all of here in this area. So a decent level, right? And it lines up with the EMAs and an overextended run. So it has what I like to look for when it comes to trading a WTF strategy. So I think it has potential. See how it develops. It's also kind of why I'm hesitant on Euro Aussie. As you can see, I'm playing these like, I guess both of these are bearish Aussie, like Aussie weakness, essentially, is what I'm trying to play. So playing a pullback here would be playing Aussie strength. I think there's just better Euro pairs, right? But it's kind of, this Euro Aussie is kind of counter biased to these two Aussie positions I have here. And then CAD PLN. So watching this, interesting price action, right? You have this draw on this level here, price respected, a nice kind of break upwards, higher high, come back for a retest, follow through. CBO on your 1 hour, IBO on your 4-hour, being ACB-ish on your 10-minute. It kind of is an overextended run without a pullback. So I don't know, but everything else is really there. Your daily's good. 4 hours okay. 1 hour's okay. So it's interesting. But CAD PLN, fully an exotic pair. I don't know if I can trade this or not, but just have it flagged to kind of watch it. And then as far as development goes, still watching dollar Mexican for what happens at this level. Still watching these Kiwi pairs as well that are sitting at all-time highs. I mean, we did have this breakdown on Euro Kiwi a little bit, but it could just bounce from here upwards. I don't think it's ready yet. Waiting for a little bit more. Same thing with Kiwi Swiss here. I think you could potentially see a double bottom before push up. CAD Swiss did get a push, and I think there's the argument you could make for an IBO today, but I don't love the fact that it's still kind of sitting at these previous highs. Then pound CAD still waiting for a breakdown on. And Aussie Kiwi also is kind of this overextended run, waiting to see what happens. Does it continue to push on the daily to this resistance level of all-time highs? Or does it break down and give us like an IBO later today or tomorrow? So yeah, main trade I'm looking for is this Euro CAD. My secondary to that is this Euro Yen. But I would be willing to take either one of these. And then I'd entertain taking Euro Pound probably as well. But these two primarily. Anyways, that's my watch list for the upcoming session. I will catch you guys tomorrow. See you.